I don't know, Pika. Should I tuck in my ears or should I like them relax? I'm not sure about this hat, Pika. It cost an arm and a leg, so I gotta put it on my head. Uh-oh. That's not really a hat band either. So I can't use my business card as my press credential. You know? We'll try again on this hat. You know what I mean? Let's just... I don't know about this one. Alrighty, enough of that. What is this, some kind of haberdashery? Hey there! Welcome once again. It's time for the Comics Coffee Table. Pull up a chair, grab a cuppa, whatever it is you're shoving under your nose today there, pal. Thank you. Kick up your feet, relax, pull up a chair. Leave your problems over there. We are hanging out for a couple of minutes, having a break. We're going to talk about comic books. That's what we do every day. 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily. That's right, ding. Oh, man, I saw that hat on an ad for one of my favorite hat makers in the world from Ireland. It's a wool cap. It's got a nice, liner and everything. It's quality. It cost a lot. It was imported. And then it comes to me and it's like, it just doesn't sit right on my head. Maybe I just need to break it in, too. Maybe I just need to wear it. But I'm not really sold on... I would look better with the beard. Yes, Pika, it would look much better with the beard. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me why it's so chilly up here. We are talking about comic books, and this year we are rebagging, reboarding, and reboxing my entire comic book collection. And along the way, I'm trying to get you to get back to your local comic book shop and buy your supplies there. Why? Because they need our business badly. Local comic book shops, they're starting to close here and there. And when they're gone, they're gone. And like the record store or, the candy store or the mall toy store, just they were part of culture once. And they'll always be like, some kind of specialty shop as well. But the direct market, what we feel, is changing. Like what we know as the floppy, as the comic book, the monthly publication, the serialized format, that could be an endangered species as well. We don't know. And but until then, let's make the best of it and let's enjoy what we love. I'm a lifelong comic book fan. I had a spinner rack. And going back to like 8 years old at a local mini mart. We call them corner stores here in Boston. You might know it as a bodega in New York City or something, or one of the boroughs. I see a few of you out there. But you also might know it as like a mini mart, or I hear a lot about spinner racks at liquor stores and gas stations, and yeah, that fits too. When there was a newsstand market for these comic books, and they were printed on cheaper paper. They weren't taken so seriously, and now it's such a niche market that it's gotten weird too. There's a lot of weirdness involved, a lot of judgment, and a lot of polarizations. I just want to read superhero funny books, man. I don't want to be accused of being in a hate group because you don't like the certain band of creators. Like, geez, yeah, they're like 90s friggin' shock jocks. Yeah, I get it. You don't like them. I get it. Man, trust me, I get it. I'm so sick and tired of it too. But that's not the point of this show. The point of this show is to like celebrate our comic books, these monthlies. And so I'm doing that. I'm reboarding, rebagging, and reboxing my entire collection. Along the way, I'm going to get a ballpark figure of what they're worth. And I'm finding little, gems all throughout this. And it's because of these two books that I'm able to look it up the old-fashioned way. I'm getting a better handle of grading my comic books and their value in this. This is the Overstreet Comic Book Price Guide. These are great resources. There are links in the description to their Amazon pages. If you want your own copies to play along at home, go for it. I implore you, as a lifelong comics book fan, these are really great resources. I'm learning so much. Like, this is all new to me, and I'm a lifelong fan. This is great. That there's always something to talk about when it comes to comic books. My parents gave me these books for Christmas last year, so this season is dedicated to my parents. Thank you so very much. I love you. Yeah, and remember that when it comes to grading and the value of comic books, if you have any serious questions about the condition or the value of your comic books, please go to your local comic book shop with these questions and ask the owner or the staff. They should be able to grade that comic book and give you a good, estimate as well, or put you in touch with the professional graders that you're looking for to solve your honest question. Our show here, this is for entertainment purposes only. We are enlightening ourselves and entertaining ourselves and talking about comic books. So while you're at the local comic book shop getting the estimate of your comic books, pick up some supplies there too. I'm not using the online supply chain I use with the free shipping and the built-in movies network. I am paying a markup, and I am getting these at my brick and mortar mom and pop comic book shops. Why? Because part of this is just to make sure that they're a healthy business, that they get the lights paid and the rent and the wages paid, and just it's a hard business. And when we lose these stores, they're gone. Comic book stores are a lot like restaurants too. If they're not a chain restaurant, these are careers and trades, and but by people, men, women, or anyone in between, and they're very family oriented in a way. Like they become a family. They're a part of culture, our local culture as well, like my restaurants and my local comic book shops. But they will have a natural life of itself too. They really do, and they both need our helps. And thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you are clobbering your problems and not being clobbered by them. All right. Here we are, once again, with the DC Crisis Long Box, diving into this personal curation of the DC Universe's overstory, with magnificent, huge stories involving legions of heroes. You don't want us to get sued. Shh, I'm just kidding. But with so many heroes and so many villains and so many costumes and so many powers and so many places, it's just wonderful to be a comic book fan, not just a comic book fan, but a superhero comic book fan of the classic variety, of the big two, of the of Marvel and DC stories, and then there's a whole spectrum and galaxy out there beyond just the two obvious places to go with the DC heroes or the Marvel heroes. There's so much more. Comics are a huge thing. And superhero comics is a valuable and wonderful part of that. And but when you say comics, the shorthand, your first place where you go is pretty much to these superhero comic books, right? When we were talking about Blackest Day the other day, Sundays are new release day, so and then now we're just back to our regular programming. Indeed. Yeah, we saw the triptych of the Tales of the Green Lantern Corps there, right? Here we go. We got more dead superheroes. And look at that. He's got the black hand, has the skull of Batman. And there's Deathstorm. I'm not sure if that's Deathstorm or that's Black Lantern Firestorm. Are they two different characters? Because, I went to... from the wiki. That's right. You know it. We have gone to the wiki. And Deathstorm was created by Necron during the Black Knight event as an evil incarnation of the undead Firestorm. After Ronnie Raymond was revived and his time as a Black Lantern ended, Deathstorm merged with the Firestorm Matrix itself. This happened in Brightest Day. So the credited, as opposed to the other day where I was like, did Jeff Johns and EVS create Deathstorm? It says here that the listed creators are Jeff Johns and Peter Tomasi. First appearance was Brightest Day number 10, November of 2010. And his death apparently was in Brightest Day number 22 of May 2011. Yet he was used again as the Earth 3 alternate in the Crime Syndicate of America, and especially in Forever Evil, when the Crime Syndicate of Earth 3 came to Earth 0 and to take over. Yeah, that was actually pretty good. That was a Jeff Johns story as well. That introduced Jessica Cruz, I believe. Did it? Did it not? Don't know. And we could look that up too. But Black Lantern Firestorm, but that is right here. And this predates Brightest Day number 10. I mean, yeah, doesn't it? I mean, chronologically speaking, of course, cover dated November of 2009. And all the characters were designed by Johns and EVS in a way too. So that's really interesting. So, look at this. Whoa, look at this art. Is that Shane Davis? Let's see. We need our... Damn. So Eddie Barrows. That's Eddie Barrows, yeah. Zombie Superman. And uneasy alliances. Along the way, they figure out that the power of two different colors of the spectrum. If you have a yellow and a green lantern, you could take out a black lantern. And yeah, and oh gosh, this is so everything happening on Oa, like all the Black Lantern rings going on all the deceased Green Lantern members. That was pretty trippy too, and it just had this whole like, there's a lot of gruesome stuff going on. Oh, this is just wonderful. That's supposed to be Maxwell Lord. And Dr. Savannah? Is that supposed to be Cobra? These are like the undead. Oh, there's Dr. Light. And I wonder who that's supposed to be. But like that's part of the fun of it too, just trying to identify which character's which. I love that when you have these mobbed kind of filled with characters, filled with reference. That's part of the fun of it. Just trying to be like identify who's who. And is that Merlin, or Merlin being the Green Arrows, opposite number. Who's that supposed to be? We have seriously, that's a woman. I don't get it. I'm lost on that one. Who's this person up here? I don't know. If you know, in the live chat or in the comments section, plug it in there. Let me know. Who do you think those are? Abin Sur returns from the dead. Abin Sur was Sinestro's. We along this way, we find out Sinestro's first name is Thal. His name is Thal Sinestro. That's his first name is Thal. So and Sinestro also fell in love with Abin Sur's sister. But they're both red people, but they're of different species on different planets. Just so you know that. But oh gosh, this is some really good comics. And these were the little 3-issue arcs of I got some of them. I didn't get all of them. Oh, the Children of the Corpse. They're like these undead space babies, like an army of evil space babies, and they're undead, and they all attack Oa. It's kind of gross. And Necron rises. That's the big bad, who's been orchestrating this whole thing, who wanted to put together the Black Lantern central power battery out of the corpse of the Anti-Monitor, who gave William Hand the first Black Lantern ring to go and revive the dead and bring upon this war of light. Who? It was Necron. This guy right here. The big bad. back to Green Lantern and the Blue Lanterns. Oh, I love the design of the Blue Lanterns. I love that they're like the Zen spiritual masters of because you have this conceit of the emotional spectrum. Roy G. Biv, red for rage, orange for avarice, greed, Y for yellow for fear, G for green for willpower, B for blue for hope, indigo, I for compassion, and V, violet, for love. And then you have the white spectrum. You have the white lantern. You have the black lantern. And so it was like the emotional spectrum. And I thought it was a really clever allegory for just, your feelings. And how that your feelings can manifest power. And this is what you would do in a superhero lens. And not even in some kind of intersectional kind of thing of just trying to throw trauma stories and real life things into no, they're just superhero stories, and they're supposed to be fun, and these are fun. Here's one of my favorites, Superboy Prime in Adventure Comics number 4. This has some wall breaking stuff. This is great. This is art by Jerry Ordway, and this was a $3.99 comic book in 2010. And here's Superboy Prime in his mother's basement doing what he's supposed to be doing, being a nerdy collector without a girlfriend. Apparently he may have been abusive to his girlfriend. That's the he might have even killed her. And that's the off-panel reference, because by the end of his story, it's like he's been reunited with his girlfriend, and she just may be a Black Lantern. This is great. Alex Luthor from Earth 3 as a Black Lantern, and they've come to get his revenge on Superboy Prime. Everyone he's killed as a Black Lantern, because their power can actually hurt him. How? I don't know. It's comic books, dude. Get over yourself. We got more of this awesome Tomasi and Gleason battery over on Green Lantern Corps. Blackest Night Booster Gold, guest starring Blue Beetle, because Ted Kord's still dead. We've got Blackest Night Flash, which is interesting, because Barry becomes a temporary Blue Lantern. Oh, look at this art. Scott Collins. So Jeff Johns and Scott Collins once again teaming up. They did Rogue's Revenge and Final Crisis. They were the creative battery around issue 200 of Wally West's Volume 2, The Flash. And this is so good. The art in this. Really awesome. And awesome, I've got Blackest Night JSA. Now, the Justice Society of America has a lot of dead enemies and a lot of dead members too. And once again, Eddie Barrows teamed up with James Robinson. James Robinson did Starman, and he's a really good writer. And this echoes the Superman holding Supergirl, that famous pieta on Crisis on Infinite Earths. So you got Alexander Luthor of Earth 3, who's dead. What became of him? Well, he survived Infinite Crisis only to be shot by the Joker, because you left Joker out. Yeah. Aw. And this is Superboy Prime at the end of this adventure with all the lanterns, all the Black Lanterns trying to get him. And this really macabre ending. Aw. This is a great horror story ending, isn't it? And that's not. This is, I think, for me personally in my collection, this is one of the last places I think I see Superboy Prime in my curation of the story. We'll see him again canonically, I guess, in Death Metal, Dark Knight's Death Metal, where there's a one shot of him. I just might pick up that single issue but you're breaking up the collection. I mean, what's the point? I mean, but look at this great cover. And here we go. The rage that has always been within Guy Gardner attracts a Red Lantern ring, and a Red Lantern ring bonds onto our rough and tumble, taciturn Green Lantern. This is really cool. He's got a Green Lantern ring on one hand and a Red Lantern ring on another hand, and he just cuts through swaths of Black Lanterns, now knowing that the power of 2 lantern batteries can take out a Black Lantern. He is his own one-man army. He also becomes leader of the Red Lanterns for a little while too. I believe while Supergirl was a Red Lantern, Guy Gardner, he had this like Sons of Anarchy kind of look, like this beard and everything. Was that great? That was Guy Gardner, right? Being swallowed up by the souls of Xanshi himself. This is Ed Bennett's artwork. More Tomasi Gleason. There's the rage of Guy, and Kyle's trying to say, "No, snap out of it, buddy. We've got you." Love Red Lantern Kyle Rayner. Sorry, of Guy Gardner. I love this. This is. I would love to get an action figure of that, huh? But yeah, check it out. JSA number. This is Black. That's Johnny Quick. There's the original Dr. Midnight there. Who's that supposed to be? I should know. See, again, but isn't that cool? Oh, Earth 2 Superman with Mr. Terrific and his own niece, or his own cousin, Karen Starr, the Power Girl. That Kara Zor-El. I love the design of Blackest Night Superman. Oh, Black Lantern Rogues Revenge. All the dead rogues. That's great. Can you identify all of Flash's dead rogues? And here comes one of the last issues, the penultimate issue, 7 of 8. All right. And things are going so badly, but the different power rings give a champion a 24-hour ring. And they have this super squad, like this mashup squad. You have the Atom as an Indigo tribe, using the power of compassion. You have Flash, the Blue Lantern Flash, because Barry Allen inspires hope. Mira, the wife of Aquaman, has so much rage within her. Who is more greedier than Lex Luthor? It's got to be Larfleeze, but he's out on the sidelines, for the time being. Who inspires more fear than Batman's the Scarecrow? And as the power of love, who is more lovely than Diana of Themyscira? With Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern, backing them up, you have a 24-hour Rainbow Corps right here, about to save existence from the zombies of Necron. Blue Lantern Flash. I had this t-shirt. It was one of my favorite of the Lantern Corps t-shirts. I miss it. You know what I mean? I've got bunches of t-shirts, and it had its life. I wore it for maybe 10 years, close to 10 years. 8 years or so, and that's a good life for a t-shirt. It was well loved, well worn. We got Blackest Night number 50. Green Lantern number 50. Parallax Rebirth. Oh my goodness. Ain't that cool? Oh, and Ice was dead, and because that's always been they've been a couple since J.M. DeMatteis and Keith Giffen, their Justice League. This was a good one. Adam and the Hawkman, Jeff Johns and Ryan Sook. The art in this is amazing. And at the end of it all, it's the birth of the White Lantern, the power of life, to combat the Black Lantern's power of death. So this is the power of resurrection, not to zombify, but to bring back from the dead some characters. So what comes after the Blackest Night? Something called the Brightest Day. But Sinestro ends up being a big hero. And he gets returned to the Green Lantern Corps for a while too, which made some interesting comic books. It was really interesting. And then there's a Blackest Day epilogue. And now we have the header there of it's called Trade Dress, I believe. And we have the Brightest Day trade dress. That's the Brightest Day logo. And so it will be this is here. You know I love issues number 0. Here we go again. Issue 0 of Brightest Day. Leading us in. I only got issue 1. And that was it. I was done. I was exhausted. It really was. I only use this allegory occasionally because it's such a succinct feeling for me. I'm a child. My mom has brought me to Nantasket Beach in Hull. As you know, I'm a kid, and we would take the bus down there, and she'd also get us a room and a bed breakfast because a kid needs a nap, here and there, and we'd just stay overnight and take the bus back home the next day. But we'd make a tiny weekend of it, and I just remember going out to swimming in the ocean and having a good time. It's just me and my mom, and occasionally she'd give me some quarters. I'd run across the street to the boardwalk and play video games or get, something to eat, and or a Coke. And I remember going out swimming and having a good time and being out there for a while and then coming back to the beach and just having like the beach rush up on you. And you're exhausted. And you're so tired. And like, you look up and you're like, where the heck am I? And it takes you a minute to orient yourself. And you're like, oh no, my mom's blanket is like all the way down the beach. And it's such a long walk. So you get up and you're exhausted and you walk back to your mom's blanket. Because it's the closest thing you got to home, right? But it's that feeling of being exhausted and having the beach kind of like rush up on you as the tide is, pushing you into the beach. It's such a visceral feeling for me, and that's like when I was done with the Blackest Night, and all these comics. Look at this this stack of comic books, and that's my personal curation of the Blackest Night story. I mean, that's it. And wow, thank you so much for joining me on this adventure about an adventure. These are all going to have to get boards, and I'll be sequestered into a new little box. Until then, you can hang out there with your friends for a little while, and we'll get back to boarding everything properly. Indeed. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We've been talking about comic books. If it's 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, we're talking about comic books. We talk about comic books daily. And it's a great excuse to hang out with other people who love comic books as much as me. And I'm just blessed that you're here and you're watching. If you'd like, please hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications. Ring that bell. We talk about comic books every day, just for a few minutes. We hang out together here at this comics coffee table. Grab a cuppa, pull up a chair, and join us. Like and subscribe, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily. And we will see you again tomorrow in those funny pages. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. And thank you so very much. It's good to see you. Cheers. In brightest day and blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware our power. Green Lantern's light. Cheers.